So here's another case that I found on the internet, and I found this case really, really interesting, right? So basically, the in this case basically involves Jeff Nelson, who essentially has a vegan channel. I'm just going to try to sum this up. He has a vegan channel, and basically, there were some people that tried to destroy his image, and they harassed him by posting horrible stuff about this guy over the internet, right? So basically, what happens is that he goes to court and then he has his claim dismissed, right? The Superior Court of Los Angeles dismissed his claim. That's why they're in the actual lawsuit, because then he filed something called a writ of mandamus. And basically, that's a motion or petition asking a higher court to basically tell a lower court to do their job, right? So essentially, just kind of ignore the fact that the Superior Court of Los Angeles is involved, but it's really a case of just Jeff Nelson against John Doe's 1 through 50. And the reason they're John Doe's is because he doesn't really have their real identity, and you're going to understand why as we get into this case. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm trying to really prove a point. And that point is that if you harass people over the internet, if you basically put out false information about people over the internet, you're subjecting yourself to a lawsuit. And you're putting yourself in a situation where you have to run back and forth to court. And if you lose, then you're probably going to have to pay out some serious cash. So this is the reason I'm covering this information. I don't know whether or not Jeff actually won this lawsuit, but I suspect he will. This lawsuit is pretty fresh, so maybe I'll try to find a way to get the actual information. But again, I'm showing you this information because it's important for you to know that you can't just hop on the internet and do whatever you want to do just because you're under the cover of anonymity, or just because you're on the internet and you think these people can't get you. You can be got, right? So let's just go ahead and basically cover some of this stuff. So basically, what I'm just going to read verbatim, word for word here, so that you can get a really grasp as to what's going on. After anonymous internet commenters posted on social media that Jeff Nelson practiced bestiality, pedophilia, and incest, has mouth sores, and sells food that causes mouth herpes. He and his company, VegSource, and by the way, the guy has a vegan YouTube channel, and you can check that channel out, right? VegSource Interactive collectively, Nelson sued for defamation. To discover the identity of the commenters of who posted under uh, anonymity or pseudonyms, Chantel Robinson, Nelson served subpoenas on Google, Tumblr, YouTube, and Twitter. So this guy was pretty smart. So people had these accounts, and they had basically pseudonym accounts, or accounts where they basically didn't give out their real name. And basically everybody has one of these accounts. And what he did was he basically subpoenaed the internet providers, or the websites for these accounts, to get their information. And basically he requested potentially identifying information, including the commenter's IP address, right? Before those companies responded to the subpoenas, however, they notified Robin, who filed a motion to quash the subpoena. The trial court granted the motion to quash. So basically, it goes on. Nelson filed a petition for a writ of mandate seeking to compel the trial court to vacate its order granting the motion to quash, and to enter a new order denying the motion, because Nelson made a prima facie showing of defamation against Robin and other pseudonym commenters. We granted the petition. So prima facie basically means something that's obvious, is on its face. But let's just take a definition. Look at the definition. I'm sorry. So basically, you can hear how it's pronounced, because I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it.
Prima facie.
That's how it's pronounced, prima facie. And then it basically means based on first impression, accepted as correct until proven otherwise. Right? So they basically said, look, this man is showing you that he's being harassed, and his character is basically being defamed on the internet, and you basically quashed his motion to get his information from the companies that has the identity of the people who are doing this to him. So they went back and they basically granted his petition to basically throw out that judgment, and they're essentially allowing him to get the identities of the people who are basically harassing him on the internet. So this is why I say over and over on my channel, don't harass people. Of course you have freedom of speech. Of course you have it. But again, as I showed in the last video and several other videos, there are limitations to freedom of speech. You really have to be careful when you go out on Twitter, you go out on YouTube, and you start harassing people, right? You have to be careful because there are limits of freedom of speech, right? What I like to do, if I try to stay away from a lot of petty nonsense, first off. So generally, I'm not going to do anything that's going to be considered harassment, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to be considered, cyberbullying and stalking. If I put some information out there or I say something on the internet, I'm saying it because I'm looking at maybe the legal aspects behind it. But again, everyone has freedom of speech. I mean, there's going to be some occasions where you just say stuff because you saw something that was alarming. That's not going to be considered harassment. It's probably not going to be considered cyberbullying. And I've already made other videos on that. But again, I really want to show this video so that people can be mindful when they're going to Twitter, YouTube, and they may be either putting a person's personal information out there, they may be harassing a person, they may even be doing some defamation of character, and God forbid, you may be threatening a person. Like, you obviously don't want to come out on the internet and say, yeah, we're going to get this such and such or whatever, or yeah, next time I see that such and such, I'm going to do this and that to them. You don't want to do that. You really just don't want to do that. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to show you that you can be touched, right? Maybe I'm just going to I'm going to end this video playing Tupac's theme song, "You Can Be Touched." No, I'm not going to do that, but you can be touched. You can be touched. You just can't do any and everything you want on the internet and think that these people are not going to be able to get you because you're on the internet and you're hard to reach, or you're behind a avatar. You can still be touched. So that's it. Leave your questions, comments below. Like, share, and subscribe.